All right, welcome back, y'all. UFC 300, probably one of the greatest UFC 300 events in a very, very long time. You know, outside anything that had Conor McGregor, because you know your boy is a Mystic Max man. All right, that card was so stacked with so many great styles of fights. Like you had striking, you had grappling, you had wrestling, you had kickboxing, you had every facet of MMA on that card. You know, that being said, not every fight was like crazy good. There were some snooze fest fights, but because there were so many freaking fights on that card, you could be forgiven, you know, if one or two fights were a snooze fest. So let's start with the first snooze fest, okay? And that being Aljamain Sterling versus Calvin Kattar. Like, and listen, it may not be Calvin Kattar's fault. Well, no, it is kind of Calvin Kattar's fault that this fight was a snooze fest because you knew how everybody knows how Aljamain Sterling fights. He's a grappler. He wants to take you back. All right. Pause. Okay. He wants to get on your back. He wants to. This was a very wild statement to say, but he wants to. He wants to get on your back, and he's going for the rear naked. All right, or he's trying to mount you, or you know, some type of ish like that. And Calvin Kattar just didn't have the tools to fight that off. Granted, I know they said he'd been out for like 2 years, but like, bruh, like you should have knew better. You know what I mean? So I partial blame for that fight being a snooze fest falls on Calvin Kattar. Obviously, he lost. Now, a lot of the blame goes to Aljamain Sterling because, man, he does not fail to always put us to sleep in his fights. Like, his plan in almost every single one of his fights is to get on your back and lay there. And just lay there. I'm going to put my weight on you, you know? And for you going up a new weight division and you're trying to make a big splash in the weight division, you know, in 145, you try to make a bid for the belt. That's not how you do it. Nobody wants to see you fight Ilia Topuria, you know, because you're going to be a boring fighter. And the one thing I love about UFC over boxing is because UFC likes to make exciting fights, you know. If you're not an exciting fighter, you're in the wrong fucking business, you know. You're not the fighter that we want fighting, you know, on the main card because you're gonna put everybody to sleep and you're gonna lose us money. You know what I mean? And that is Aljamain Sterling, unfortunately. And that's why he went from being a champ to fighting on the prelims. Which, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of former champs that, like, within the past year that were fighting on the prelims that didn't make any sense. One being Jiri Prochazka versus Rakic. That fight should have been on the main card. I don't know how Bo Nickel and Cody Brundage get to be on the main card because who the hell? Like, I get Bo Nickel's got a lot of hype around it, but like, bruh, like, why? How does Jiri with a proven, you know, former champ, literally just lost the belt, you know, and now you're fighting on the prelim. Granted, you were the featured bout on the prelim, but like, you were on the prelim. That fight should have been on the main card, and he proved it because listen, Jiri Prochazka's fighting style isn't probably the most efficient, but boy, he's angry enough. He could walk right through your punches because it was obvious Rakic was the more complete fighter, but Rakic just couldn't stop. Rakic just couldn't stop Jiri Prochazka, and Jiri Prochazka walked right through his ass. One overhand right, and that was all she wrote. TKO. So yeah, and honestly, that's my second favorite fight of the night because Jiri wasn't playing no games. I'm telling you, bro, that man is a samurai. Stop saying he's not a samurai, man. He's a samurai. All right. And then what upset me too was Cody Garbrandt versus Davison Figueiredo. And I'm not saying that fight was boring, but I used to be a Cody Garbrandt fan back when he was, you know, making his first title run. And then everything just kind of went downhill after that, you know. I guess that feud with the snake in the grass really just took a lot out of him, and you know that's why, you know, he just went downhill. You know, he had his ups and downs, but yeah, he lost by a rear naked choke in the earlier rounds. And then you had Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter, against Kayla Harrison, which, boy, that broad don't look like she is here to play, because she ran right through Holly Holm. Granted, Holly Holm is in her 40s. She should be retiring by now. You know, I don't think there is a realistic another title run for her, you know. But you know that broad Kayla Harrison, boy, you know, I ain't trying to hate, boy, but her back was, boy, she got a better back than I do. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. She looked jacked, bro. For 135, she looked humongous compared to Holly Holm. And Holly Holm ain't no slouch, bro. She's usually pretty ripped, bro. This broad was like, boy, ripped and swole, boy. She looked scary. And she had her way, you know. And she won by TKO. Now, this fight, in my opinion, should have been the main event. It should have been the main event. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. The main event wasn't, you know, bad, but it wasn't as good as this one, okay? And if you saw the fights, you know which one I'm talking about. Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. This is one of those fights that you hate to see either one of them lose, because I'm not gonna lie, if you are not a fan of Justin Gaethje or not a fan of Max Holloway, you don't like fighting. You don't like mixed martial arts, and you definitely don't like UFC, because both of those fighters are the epitome of fuck it, we fighting. All right, like it's on sight, we are on smoke. They are the epitome of it, because I don't think I've ever seen a boring Max Holloway fight, nor have I ever seen a boring Justin Gaethje fight. You know what I mean? Even if they're losing or winning, you know what I mean? So that fight from beginning to end was amazing. And then the last 10 freaking seconds of the fight, Holloway was winning the fight because after he broke Gaethje's nose, I think in like at the end of the first round, it kind of all went downhill for Gaethje, because obviously, you know, that breathing problems tend to have it. And props to Gaethje, bro, because he did not care. He kept going. And was having success, you know, just not as much as Holloway. And then the last 10 seconds, Holloway did the world famous point to the middle, stand and bang kind of gesture, and they stood and they banged.
Holloway shows some mortality. Look at this. Holloway just told them, stand right here. Oh, big connection late. That'll do it. With 1 second to go. Gaethje face first on the canvas. Holloway wins the BMF title. Oh my goodness.
And Holloway caught Gaethje with a right hook from hell and put Gaethje to sleep. It was like one of those moments where it was like, oh my God, that was amazing, but also like, oh my God, like Gaethje's out. You know what I mean? You were excited but sad for Gaethje at the same time, because it was like, yo, like that was amazing, but it had to happen to Justin Gaethje. You know what I mean? So that was my main event, and honestly, like, Holloway has a pick of the litter. He could go fight for the 155 belt. He could fight for the 145 belt. Ilia Topuria was shaking in his boots when he saw that knockout, because when they did the interview for Max Holloway, they panned the camera over him, and he looked shooken.
There's an El Matador, right? I'm him. I'm right here. Max, it was one of the most special performances of...
He looked shooken. And yeah, no, bro, like I think that fight is, I think either one Max Holloway can have. I think after that performance, he can have whatever fight he wants. And then John Wei Lee versus Zhang Yan. I'm sorry, the name pronouncing is not in my repertoire. This is a hard name to pronounce, but she dominated the fight. It was a great fight, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think anybody in the strawweight division really got any smoke for, you know, Wei Lee. You know, I think she's just too good at this point. Just too good. I think the only one maybe that's got her number is like Nami Yunus or something like that. And then Pereira versus Hill. You know, the main event, it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of boring a little bit. I mean, it may have been boring, or it may have been the fact that, like, you know, that Holloway Gaethje fight took a lot out of you, man. Took a lot out of you because it was so exciting. But, you know, Pereira got hit with like a low blow. Herb Dean went to go step in to kind of give Pereira the time to heal. Pereira was like, nah, I'm good. Uppercut from hell. And
Continue. Please, get out of here. Big early knockdown for Peloton. Oh my goodness. Oh, Jamal Nelson,
and just uppercuts the shit out of Hill and completely sends him to the Shadow Realm, and he wins by TKO. So, yeah, I don't think anybody got smoked for Pereira either at 205, to be honest. Maybe Jiri, but Jiri already lost to Pereira. So, I don't know who you put for Pereira to fight, because that man looks... I don't know how Adesanya even beat him, because that man looks impossible to beat. So, yeah. Anyways, y'all. Before I even end this video, we got a big announcement, boy. So, at the end, in the post-fight press conference, that man, Dana White, decided to say the next 2 fights, or 3 UFC pay-per-view events. And he happened to mention that at UFC 303, they finally made it official, because I made a video about it, and at that point I thought it was official. Come to find out it wasn't. But now, it's official.
That's a bang.
June 29th. Conor versus Chandler. 5 rounds, 170 pounds.
Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler at UFC 303. Mystic Mac freaking returns, baby. And you know for damn sure I'm gonna watch that fight. I don't care what I gotta do. I'm watching that fight, because your boy rolls with Mystic Mac. But anyways, I've been your boy Master Flex. Leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.